whatever time of day it is, I'm excited to share with you today. Today is going to spend a little bit more time with you. I'm going to go a little bit longer, more in depth in this conversation. I want you to engage. I want you to comment. I want you to share. Ooh, that hits me. Because one of the things that I've learned is we can all grow on our own. That's important, but yet we can't grow alone. It's best done in community. So today, I want to talk about communication. The title of today's what I'm going to share is No Communication is Worse Than Bad Communication. Oftentimes people fear saying the right things, so they don't say anything at all. Well, I want to pull from a book. I actually have it right here. John Maxwell's 16 Undeniable Laws of Communication. And I'm going to share with you a few of the qualities of a credible communicator. Now I'm going to share a little bit more about it, and then maybe on another episode I'll finish up. This is what I want to start with. The qualities of a credible communicator. The first one is be transparent. I mentioned earlier as I was opening that this idea that people often fear not saying the right thing. When people fear not saying the right thing, they say nothing. See, that void of communication, as we'll find out later, causes more problems. The key, say something from the heart. Give people direction. Give them hope. That's one key about a leader is they have a vision and they're clear. They connect with people, they share it. That's what leads to influence. So even if what you share differs from what they want to hear, just you standing in front of people, owning it, sharing with them, that goes a long way. So the first one is be transparent. Number two, be consistent. Oftentimes leaders, they say things when it's great, and then when it's bad, they kind of retreat to their cave. A lot of times that's their own insecurity setting in. Ooh, if I don't tell everyone what they want to hear, then I'm falling short. They're not going to like me, whatever. Those stories that we tell ourselves don't help us lead others. See, I mentioned earlier, the worst communication is not saying anything. Instead, say something. Being consistent is saying something and helping people. Give them clarity. Give them understanding. This is what we're going through. It may not be what you want to hear. But there's an international pandemic. Yes, we're going through that. But you know what's important in our organization is that we look after and care for everyone uniquely and differently because everyone's going to be facing this different. Or today, maybe it's financial crunches. Maybe organizations are looking at potentially laying people off. When that's the case, be transparent. Don't say, oh, we need to do this to balance numbers. Like, yeah, I failed. We fell short. Our sales weren't what they needed to be. We thought we were going to have more additional growth. The market conditions were this or that. Unfortunately, in order to save the entire organization for some, we're going to have to reallocate people. Now, this is what I've seen people do in the past, and it's so amazing. Hey, I'm sorry to have to let you go. But you know what? I'm going to reach out to my network of other executives, other people that I know, and I'm going to vouch for you because I care about you. See, that is being consistent, saying something, even when you want to choose to say nothing. The third one that I want to share today is be a good example. Don't just tell people what they want to hear. Live it, breathe it, own it. Hey, going back to those layoffs, we fell short. I need to sacrifice and endure some pain too to help financially bridge this gap. I'm going to be doing that, not just expecting others to. We've seen executives do that. And one of the things that I've learned is they end up gaining a lot of credibility and trust. There's a story from Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi was sitting and he had many people approach him asking for advice. And as the story goes, this woman comes up with her young boy. And she asks Mr. Gandhi, said, hey, can you help my son not eat candy? Can you tell him not to eat candy? Well, Mahatma said, all right, come back in 3 days. The lady, confused, obeyed. She went home, came back in 3 days, waited through the line, went to Mahatma Gandhi and said, I've come back. Mahatma Gandhi turns to her son and says, stop eating candy. The lady, confused, said, well, why didn't you tell him that 3 days ago? She asked in maybe a different tone, but he said, I couldn't ask him to do something I was unwilling to do myself. So I had to stop eating candy. Now I've stopped for 3 days, and I asked him to stop eating candy. See, that credibility in that story probably gained more admiration and trust in Gandhi than that lady had ever given him, because he was real. He wasn't just telling her what her son needed to hear. He was living it. And great communicators live it. I want to end with my thought of the day today. The worst type of communication, the worst kind of communicator, is someone who keeps all of their thoughts to themselves and never expresses them to others. The worst communicator is one that keeps all the thoughts in their mind, but never verbalizes and tells people. Now, I've lived with these type of people. I've worked for these type of people. You come to a situation, they're like, well, why didn't you know? It's like, you never told me. And you find out that they said it to themselves 75 times, but never said it. It's often said is, once you're sick of saying it to yourself, then you should start telling others. Or once people are irritated and want you to stop saying it, you're just finally sinking in. The worst type of communicator is one that says it all to themselves and never to anyone else. I hope you got value from today. Thanks for all of your comments. Thanks for engaging. I love it and appreciate it. My journey here is to serve and enlighten and bring more to others from what I've learned, from what I've read, from what I've experienced. And so we can go on this journey together. Hope you got value from today.